good afternoon, everybody. I missed you guys very much. Welcome to the latest edition of Veganized Vegas. I'm your host, Kurt Cadet, and on this show, we always give you an insight to everything going on in the rapidly growing vegan community in Sin City, as well as the different vegan personalities we have to offer. Today's show is going to be a little bit different, as today I have two different guests from two different backgrounds. First off, I want to welcome vegan activist locally here in Las Vegas, Hani Levi,
Hi.
as well as recently turned vegan and upcoming author, Sarah Lane.
Hello.
All right, I want to start off, Sarah, by asking you, as someone who just turned vegan recently, I wanted to know, why do you think so many people hesitate, or in actually much harsher words, are afraid to go vegan?
I think there's a couple of different reasons. A lot of it boils down to tradition, which, as we know, just because it's always been done that way doesn't mean that it has to continue that way. I think with a lot of families and communities, they show love through food, and grandma's going to be very upset if you don't eat her lasagna with it. So I think part of that is breaking that tradition, realizing that we don't have to use animals. We don't have to exploit animals for our own personal use with it. I think that's a big thing. The other part I would think is misinformation. They don't know how to be vegan. They don't know that you can buy leather-free belts. They don't know that there's a lot of great like soy-based products or seitan, or that legumes are incredibly high in a lot of nutrients, protein, and carbs with it.
Hani, what would you like to add to that?
I agree with most of what you said. When I usually have a conversation with a person about veganism, a lot of the time it's come down to him being selfish. They don't really want to make the effort because it does require some work. And also the fact that us as humans, we want to be normal and what the majority of the people are doing. And, it's kind of, for them, they kind of understand it as not being normal or changing and not be like part of what most of the population is doing. So
People with the need to be accepted. So Hani, as like someone who's been vegan for a long time, I just wanted to know, like, what are some of the dumbest arguments you've heard against being vegan? I know you've heard plenty of
just
them.
to pick a few.
Sure.
Well, the ultimate plants have feelings. They don't. Your heart will not get break by a tomato. They can sense, which is very different. But the top one will be, for me, God put them here for us. If you believe in God and not Satan, God should be merciful. You should not create an animal with nerve system for you to torture and kill it. And also by doing it, you're polluting the planet, His creation, and your body, another of His creation. So, some logic.
Couldn't have said it better, Sarah. What do you want to add?
Those are great things that I've also heard. Another one that I've heard in today's society within our media or even certain health experts, they say, oh, there's no way you can get enough protein in a vegan diet. So I can't become vegan, I don't get enough protein. But that's not really true. First off, the average woman needs 49 grams. The average man needs about 55 grams of protein. That's around 200 calories. It's so easy to get. And I believe T. Colin Campbell of the China study, which is like a 30 or 40-year study done on a plant-based lifestyle, he found that if in excess of 20%, we're actually prone to more cancers. So, average one, I would say probably about 10%, 15% is adequate protein. Now, a bodybuilder may have different needs, but how many of us are bodybuilders with it? And there are some great vegan bodybuilders too.
Definitely bodybuilders, football players, MMA fighters, etc. It's a whole big myth about the whole protein thing.
That are vegan, such as gorillas.
Definitely.
But it's so easy. Like plants have protein, like tons of protein. A tomato has protein. Who would know?
I know both of you are practically married, so I just wanted to know, like, when you both became, or Sarah, first off, when you became vegan, how did your husband first react to it?
He's so supportive. He is an omnivore, but he's starting to go down the lifestyle path with me, It starts small. I have a different opinion on veganism. Like, I think, like, small changes can lead to great things with it. So we started doing completely animal-free days with it. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he doesn't eat animal products either with it. He's already gone down the path, like he's changed his belt out for something that's, non-vegan. Shoes are a little bit tougher with it, but we're working on it. But he's supportive. He loves it with it.
Awesome. And Hani, how did your spouse react to it?
My boyfriend is vegan.
Nice.
I personally would not date someone who's not vegan.
But was he vegan originally before?
Yes.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think you should push your partner. I think it's basically up to you if you are able to live with it and how to approach it. I don't think it's fair to push him to be vegan if he's not ready.
Understood. Yeah, it's something you have to like really decide on your own and like really make a connection with. So one thing I've noticed over the years is a lot of fighting and bickering within the vegan community. So Hani, as someone who's like heavily involved in that, specifically out here, why do you think that's the case?
I kind of don't like the word community because when you use the word community, it starts to be, oh, you represent us, and I don't represent anyone by myself. And also a different vegan will not represent me. But if to guess, such as ego would usually be the number one, and such in any other subject, you have different belief, different way to approach a subject, which, people don't necessarily agree with you, and it is what it is.
Sarah?
Going off of what you said, definitely, if you look at Christianity or Islam, there's so many different sects and schisms of beliefs. So in addition to ego, I would say it boils down to different philosophical beliefs, Are you vegan if you have a pet? You're going to get different answers depending on who you talk to and very different reasoning and arguments for that with it. So, like you said, there's a community, but we don't all represent each other. I think as long as there's a basic agreement that if you are vegan, you don't support or believe in the exploitation of animals with it.
And I know vegan activism is a big thing out here. I was just wondering, have you had the chance to get yourself involved in any of that?
I have not. I was actually going to discuss with you two later on about how I could become more involved.
Oh yes, definitely. But I was just wondering, I know there's like a lot of critics, not necessarily with just vegan activism, but any form of activism in general, who think it's counterproductive and it takes away from the message. Why do you think people think that way?
I think we can probably go back to in the 70s and 80s, I believe, with PETA throwing red paint on fur coats with it. And people say, well, how could they do that,
It
that's
Oh yeah, Hani doesn't mess around when it comes to people with fur.
It did work. It got people talking. Like, what's the saying? There's no such thing as bad publicity. It got a conversation going with it. So whether or not I agree with methods, it gets people talking with it, and that's really cool.
Sometimes the start. So Hani, why do you think so?
Well, I think, first of all, there is so many forms of activism. You don't necessarily need to agree with any form, but fact is that veganism right now is so spread because of activism, no matter which form it is. So definitely activism make veganism spread and more known and more people turning vegan due to activism.
Awesome. Another big thing coming up lately is the whole Impossible Burger controversy. I think in the sense that there was reports coming out that they did animal testing and some of the animals they did testing on died.
Yeah.
So just from that standpoint, whether it be from that or let's say necessarily going to restaurants that have vegan options but still serve meat and dairy, do you think even though you're vegan, it's still an ethical choice to go to those places even though they still serve meat products and dairy products?
I think it's a bit too early to ask if it's ethical. We don't live in a world where there is so many vegan places all across wherever a person lives. If it's okay, I would say, bottom line, yes. I have family members that even though I choose not to celebrate holidays with them, I still go when it's one of their birthday to a place that serves also meat. So I would say it's okay. Not necessarily ethical, but it's okay. Maybe 20 years.
Guess we'll have to wait and see. Sarah?
Yeah, I find myself agreeing with a lot of stuff with you. My parents live in a very rural community of Oregon, so when I go visit them, there isn't a vegan restaurant like there is just down the road from where I live with it. When we can, I think it's better to support a fully vegan restaurant just because there won't be that worry that something's cross-contaminated and you're actually supporting a business that for beliefs that you believe in with it. But that said, I think it's important to choose the vegan option and maybe a more conventional restaurant because the more, like businesses exist to make money, so the more that we actually buy those products and it gets people talking, it gets people interested, and they say, hey, maybe there's money to be made in veganism with it. Not trying to say we're trying to monetize
But
veganism.
create the right demand.
That's more vegan options that can come out. And I think the goal of ours is to become more mainstream with our beliefs with it.
And it's working. Look at the show we have right now.
Sure.
Will any of you be attending Veg Fest in a couple weeks?
Of course, I will.
Absolutely with it. I was just looking
What
at
are
the vendor list.
some of your favorite? What are some of the things you're looking forward to trying? Or
I have not had a Beyond Burger yet.
you haven't?
I haven't had it.
Oh,
I
no.
know, so I'm excited. So that's definitely one that I'm looking forward to with it. And I'm trying to remember the other one. It's some kind of southern.
It's gonna change your life, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Southern fried chicken, I think you're referring to?
it's something like that. Yeah. and it
Yes,
sounds
they're usually
very
always there. They have the
exciting.
fried chicken, the mashed potatoes, everything. I went to like a potluck they had a few months ago. Some good stuff.
There you go with it. And of course, I'll be taking my husband and some friends because
Look forward
they
to seeing you
are
guys there.
veg curious.
If we speak about Veg Fest, we should give a good shout out to Carrie LeBlanc for organizing it.
Absolutely.
I personally cannot wait to see my friends Camille and Richie in Las Vegas Animal Safe gonna have a booth.
Awesome.
Mario from Anonymous for the Voiceless gonna have a booth, and Lisette gonna have her clothing line there, Coco
I
Clothing.
thought she moved.
She's coming though. She's
Oh,
gonna have
good,
a booth
good,
in there.
good.
Yeah, she's gonna come visit.
Look forward to it. I need to buy some more vegan merchandise myself. But speaking of food, I want to get into like a new segment we're going to do every week called the Vegan Meal of the Week. And the winner is, for this week, is going to be the lentil loaf dish that you can find at Go Vegan Cafe. Yes, it is basically similar to a meatloaf type flavor, but at the same time it is made from lentil beans. And it comes with barbecue sauce smothered on top, and you can have your choice for sides of either mashed potatoes, veggies, or both. So if you want to try this delicious dish that I had the pleasure of trying last night, please go to Go Vegan Cafe, located on Rainbow and Russell, just right by the 215 highway. So before we get out of here, I just wanted to ask Hani and Sarah, how can people get in contact with you if they want to?
I have a page called Vegans Rise Up. If you have any question, you want to take part in activism or basically anything, you can message me in there.
Awesome. And Sarah?
Absolutely. You can find me on Facebook under Sarah Elizabeth Lane with it. I'm open for any questions. And actually, Kurt, I was telling you this the other day. I'm actually going to be starting a new project in 2019 with vegan cooking that's aimed at helping bridge the gap between vegans and omnivores with it.
Awesome. Look forward to being a guest on that one day.
I look forward to having you and you too as well.
Thank you.
Well, on behalf of Sarah and Hani, I just want to say my name is Kurt Cadet, saying on behalf of all vegans, I just want to say, damn, we love being vegan. Take care, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure.